Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Let's Chat Live. I am your host, Chris Revel. Woo woo. Unfortunately, Bree was not able to make it tonight, but we have two wonderful guests tonight. Our returning guest from our very first Let's Chat Live that I'm going to say that to bring this up with them because it was a pretty hilarious story when I broke everything that we did the first time. So we're really excited. You know what? I'm not even going to ramble. Let's just get right into this one. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you two? As we said before, you were our very first Let's Chat Live guest. I believe it was Bree and Seaball, and I popped to it. I was so excited, and I accidentally ended the broadcast.
You accidentally, and it was right after Cameron's computer crashed, so he was on his phone. You came in as soon as you leave, you break everything.
What's even funnier is as soon as you leave, that's when my computer starts working again, and that is when I'm finally able to switch back to this setup right here.
And then tonight, like right as we were catching up right before we went live. I plug in my microphone, and then my computer crashed. It's like, no.
It's my turn next.
So hey, no, please.
Oh, it's your birthday! Don't you dare!
Is today your birthday?
Yes.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. I'm 23 now.
Wow.
I'm old.
Nothing changes, I think, after like 22. I don't think I've...
Yeah, there's no such thing as getting old. That's all in your head anyway.
Yeah, I'm 36, and every birthday's felt exactly the same. Ever since like 22. In my head, I'm still 25. I really always will think I'm 25. I'm like, yeah, 23, sure.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Well, happy birthday. Thank you for sharing it with us. Hey, thank you for coming back after I literally ruined everything twice in a row.
Honestly, recording episodes, we have crashes and just stuff go wrong a lot.
Yeah, problems happen.
Yep. Part of the game. I've for our audio podcast, Let's Chat with Chris Revel, I started that in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And tech has gotten a lot better, especially remote recording. But I was just talking to, I think it was JP from Dumbfound Dead. I was like, yeah, I've probably lost like 20 episodes over the years, and they're like jaw drops. I'm like, some of them are embarrassing. I can think of 3 episodes where I recorded with somebody, and we both recorded separately on like Audacity or something, and then they just never sent me their file.
Oh,
oops!
It's happened twice.
Jeez.
So, and there's a million other things, but I've done over 200, and I think I released 230. We've released 230. So of that,
3 of 200's not bad.
Yeah. I probably realistically I know there's 7. I probably lost about 15 episodes over the last 7 years.
Still not bad.
Yeah, and because
we
recently did our 100th episode recently as well. So.
Get the fuck out of here! Congratulations!
That was
or something.
100.
Justin.
I was gonna say actually tomorrow's episode we had a tech issue and it got split into 2 because Cameron's computer crashed as we were recording it.
It's happened a couple times, but when did our 100th episode go up live, Justin?
100th episode, we are on...
Because we're on 105 or something, 104?
106 is tomorrow, so it's been 6 weeks since.
And so that's really... We can get real nerdy here because we're all podcast nerds here. There's kind of an exclusive... There's like a club. Like, I think they say most podcasts end before episode 20. That's like the marker where people won't even like... Within the industry, ain't no one even going to touch you. Like no one, like bigger names and podcasts, like that. No one's going to do your shit like of a certain level. I mean, I definitely will do your first episode. Anyone listening, but celebrities or bigger names, like no one even like really talk to you until you do like 20. So like the deeper you go into it, like all of a sudden you get into this rarefied air. But like 100, that's huge. Congratulations, that's incredible. That's really incredible. So let me ask you both this then. Including the 100 episodes, but since we talked you were here last about 6.5, 7 months ago. Why haven't you quit?
We don't have a reason to. Like, yeah. Honestly, we said this last time, but the whole reason we started is just because we enjoyed watching movies. So it was like, why not make a podcast for it? And we made it random. So we have these wheels, and it's like, well, we have to finish the wheel now.
I love that, by the way.
Thanks.
I know we actually, for episode 91, that was a one-off wheel from a list compiled from you, Seaball, and Bree.
Did I add Spider-Verse? I bet I added Spider-Verse.
You did.
That sounds like something I would do.
The one we landed on though was from Seaball with Dark City.
Nice. Oh, Seaball, he's got good taste.
Yeah.
So he criticized me on the internet the other day for liking Kong vs. Godzilla because of the story he didn't like, and I was like, I took 50 milligrams of edibles and I saw it in IMAX, and I didn't even know there was 2 other movies before it. Like, I just wanted to watch a monster fighter. I had no idea there's a story in that movie. I did not care, so I loved it.
Yes.
That movie sounds 100% more enjoyable with edibles.
Yeah.
On IMAX. Especially, and with COVID,
IMAX on edibles. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I'm fully vaccinated, so like I've only been to maybe like 4 movies in the last like year. So like I couldn't tell if I loved the movie or if it was just the amplification of like, oh my god, people, a movie theater, this is the greatest experience. And then there's a robot for some reason. I loved it.
Dude, we saw the last movie me and Justin saw in theaters was a movie called Nobody, actually. So it was our first time being in theaters in what, months?
Yeah, I haven't been before I saw Nobody. I hadn't been in theaters since March of last year, like right before the pandemic hit, type deal.
Yeah, I went to even during the pandemic. I went to I'm in Rhode Island when the numbers were really good. I know we did some drive-ins. Then I saw Spider-Verse, Black Panther, and like Jurassic Park because they were like rerunning stuff.
Nice.
And then since being vaccinated, I've seen Raya and the Last Dragon and Kong vs. Godzilla. And I'm at the point now where I don't even care about the movie. I just love going. I didn't know how much I love going to the movies until the pandemic.
You don't know what you love till it's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like, and it's really, really cool being in a theater where like the whole audience is very much into it. Because I saw John Wick 3 in theaters, and it was so cool because like even though the movie I didn't feel was as good as the first 2, it was so fun because the audience was so into it. Like, shit was happening, they're like, oh, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, this is so fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is just a reminder for anyone watching, and we'd love to hear some comments. You have to give StreamYard permission, and this always happens with Facebook. If anyone else has this problem, Facebook always changes their third-party stuff that makes it impossible. So just a shout out to anyone out there. If you want to jump right in, please, would love to hear from you. But so 105 episodes, and we met through our mutual friend Steven, correct?
No, I think you met Steven through us.
Yeah, I think it was the other way around.
Okay.
I think the way we met is I was just talking about how it is kind of hard to grow an audience with a podcast, and Bree was like, yeah, I understand. If you want some pointers, I can give it to you. And then it's like, we have this live show if you'd like to come on to it. It's, okay, sure.
Yeah,
I hope it helped.
I think you have Bree to thank mostly for bringing us on.
Yeah,
I have Bree to thank for many things.
Thanks.
We love Bree.
Thanks, Bree. We love you.
We do. Yeah, because I think even like in the last 6 months, we started Let's Chat Club. I think that's probably started after you guys came on. Now, Steven's one of our members now, and that's part of our Facebook user. Thank you so much for the comment. I think you have to give permission for StreamYard, which is frustrating, but whoever you are, thank you.
Might be my mother. I told my mom to listen in, so
that's really sweet.
Yeah.
My parents gave up listening.
Oh no!
A little more freedom. I couldn't say those edible things if I knew my mom and dad are watching. Oh, it's Steven, our boy Steven.
Hey, Steven.
What? Oh, shout out. I just did his podcast. It was so much fun.
Nice.
Steven being such a trooper. I was like, had like the worst day. I was in the whole mood in the entire world, but I was like, yeah. So it went well, but he was such a good host because the whole time I felt, do you ever have that, like you guessed or you do an episode and like you have a perception of how it went, and then you talk to the person you listen to, like, nope, all in my head. But I remember not being in a good mood and Steven being a really good host. So shout out Steven. He's one of our favorite people.
For sure.
So you started the show, and then in the last 6 months, have you, has COVID helped your audience grow at all? I've talked to a lot of people. It does sound like downloads seem to be across the board for everyone seem to be a little bit lower, but it seems like engagement is up a little bit.
I think Justin has access to all the stats on Anchor. How have we been?
We have grown a bit. We still don't have viewers that talk often, which makes me sad because I like answering stupid questions.
Same.
Yeah.
We actually had one recently that gave us a review, so that was nice.
Oh, nice. Where are you the most active on social media? We
Usually
found
Twitter.
Facebook groups really good. Do you have one?
I should make a Facebook group. I already suck at juggling like my own personal social media, so trying to also run one for a podcast is a bit iffy.
I gave up on my personal one for years. I only had a Let's Chat Twitter. I just gave up on personal. I teamed up with Bree last year because I was doing everything myself. Same thing. I couldn't juggle too much. And now oh my god, now you have to have like a Facebook, a Twitter, a Facebook group, a TikTok, an Instagram, a Snapchat, and just like
people. Yeah. Just the sheer amount of things that you need in order to promote yourself. So
and like social media managers make like $50,000 a year. Now I can see why.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised because they have to juggle all that shit. So
I wouldn't hire us for that. But that's been one of the fun things with the club is like it's been our little like way to bring more of us indies together and support. And I was reading a great article. I think it was on Bello Collective about like building. I took a class to PRX last year about like how to build an audience, and one of the biggest takeaway was like we always want to grow our audience obviously, but like don't get too focused on trying to grow your audience. Like really focus on the audience you have, because there's over 2 million podcasts, and if you have one person listen to you, that's pretty cool.
That's an interesting statistic.
Over 2 million. Can you believe that?
That is crazy.
And a lot of them just popped up the last like year. There was a big podcast boom.
Wow.
Because everyone's stuck at home and wants something to get like creativity out, and it's easier to do a podcast than it is to like shoot a short or whatever.
Oh, we were just C-Ball. I hope your ears are ringing. We were just speaking nice to you. We were just talking about you, C-Ball. When you were giving me guff for not wanting to see, for not liking, what was it called? The spider, what did I say?
Or whatever it is, yeah.
Monkey versus lizard.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned this last time too, but like our podcast is going to go a long fucking time because we did the math on the roulette wheels and everything we currently have built. We have enough content for like 7 years or something. Isn't that right, Justin?
Yeah, because we get bored sometimes and we were like, hey, let's make another wheel just to see what, in case. And the current amount of wheels we have or things we want to do, that can run about 5 years if we only release one episode a week.
5 years.
We have enough content for 5 years. That's right. We have movies enough on the wheel for that long. So we're going to be going for that long at least.
Wow, I love that. Is there anything on there like you're just dreading?
Oh, we have something that it used to be called the long series wheel, but I call it the sellout wheel now because it's all popular series on it. Those have like Men in Black and Alien, and the later ones are where I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, there's a couple movies we're really not looking forward to getting to. Alien Covenant is one of them. Men in Black 2, right?
Die Hard's on there, so Good Day to Die Hard at some point.
Die Hard, Quantum of Solace. I'm gonna hate this so fucking
Did you see
much.
Men in Black 3?
I did. I remember enjoying
it. I
it.
remember really liking it. I thought it was surprisingly good.
I remember the commercials like really pumping up Tommy Lee Jones and then him being in it for all 30 seconds.
Because they're trying to find him in it, right? Or something.
I saw it in the drive-in. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, nice.
I remember seeing it. That's well.
That's kind of how I feel about the movie. Is I saw it, I know I enjoyed it, but that's about all I remember. You just muted yourself, by the way. Thanks, Cat.
I think it's Cat. He muted himself because Cat was.
That was my cat.
His rear was just in the shot the whole time.
We were me and Bree and our friend Dwight. Oh, we're gonna have a surprise in a second. We're developing, producing a podcast, which we're really excited about for Soen Jones, who's George Floyd's uncle. So we were doing the pilot episode today, and my cat would not stop coming in and bothering us. But just to make things more fun, hope he won't kick you off. If someone wants to pop in and say hello to you.
Simon!
Hey. What's shaking, guys?
Hey, not
It's
much.
been what, 7 months.
Yeah, it's been
Now,
quite
Bree,
a
if you're
while,
out there, you got
hasn't
to
it?
pop on too.
Been a
That
lot,
was
a lot
these
longer than I
were
realized.
the very first. You guys did the very first episode. We were recapping.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I,
this is quite the full circle.
Yes.
I came on. I said hello, and then I accidentally hung up on everyone.
Yeah, 10.
And then Cam's computer broke.
Yep. If everything went well, first episode.
I'm just here to joke and trash on the movie that you like.
I didn't even know there was a story to it.
Oh, the
Yes.
King Kong and Godzilla.
Honestly, you don't need to know. There's a story to it. It's so bad.
Yo, that's it. Yeah, the idea, the fact that the fact that people call it a story is you're doing it way more justice than it deserves.
I still haven't seen it, so.
I mean,
there's something about
you have to shut your mind off to any like notion that there's a story. Like the idea is like it's the most thinly veiled like storyline in there, just outlined, just to put it, make sure it kind of goes together.
I mean, to be fair, you're there for Kong versus Zilla action. The story isn't really. I mean,
if only the movie knew that and stopped focusing on the people.
I heard they focus on it so much.
Oh,
like
that's the problem with all the Godzilla movies. It's all about the people, all of them, and it's like
first
if
one.
you're going to do that, you need to like kind of follow through the trend of what Japanese culture did with those movies. They made it about that, but it was like a subtext of culture.
Yes,
and you know what I mean? Like everybody hated the first one, and it wasn't great. And I agree that it took way too long to get to Godzilla, but they were character building. But America's not used to that. They want now.
Yeah, but Kong Skull Island had some great character development, though.
Kong Skull, I did appreciate. It wasn't perfect, but I appreciate it. But Kong's a different beast.
I want to see. Is that connected to the one I just saw?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
I like that.
that.
That's the best of all the movies.
I agree with that.
It's a fun adventure, you know.
Yeah,
it's like if you like Jumanji. What's that?
You go in, for 10 minutes, you learn all the people, and then you go fight monsters. That's the movie.
Yeah, and that's my problem with. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was what I appreciate about it too, because in the 2005 Peter Jackson one, it took like literally an hour to get to the island.
Oh my god!
10 minutes, there we are in the island. Boom.
Yeah,
I like the Peter Jackson one.
It was cool.
Well, I thought I did. It's been a long time.
Once they got to the
that
island,
did not age well.
No,
it's been a while.
No, especially visually, no. The problem I think there's a huge. Yeah, as a filmmaker, he was the best part.
I thought Jack Black was good.
But I think a huge problem with that is considering Godzilla is such a Japanese thing, and it is so ingrained in that culture of how it does. It's like a metaphor for the bomb and the nukes and all that stuff in World War II. It's how do you translate that into America? Like how do you do that culturally and with humans? Like those stories were so built on that, including like the story with the humans. Where here is just like evil corporation and child who's a podcaster. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's why I like it.
Yeah, because I like
who's here for 30 seconds.
Because Godzilla King of the Monsters wasn't horrible. It's just a lot of them were really cardboard cutouts, and they could just be replaced with anybody. Was the biggest issue with that one.
If you want to watch a good one, it's in Japan. I think it was made in somewhere in the mid 2000s. It was called Shin Godzilla. That one,
Shin Godzilla is great.
That's the perfect example of what you do as a modern Godzilla. Like that's perfect. I mean, you can't go any better than that. I think the problem is I don't think you're just never going to see a proper or a Godzilla movie that's really going to do properly here.
What about the Matthew Broderick version?
Oh god, it's a 2001.
Yeah, Cam.
Yeah, we called that the soundtrack was good. That's what we called it.
Was that?
That's a 90s
Daddy
effect
and
right
Jimmy
there.
Page?
Yeah, I don't know about that song, but the rest of it, like it's like 90s movies, like even a really garbage movie, so an amazing soundtrack. Like half the songs were made just for the movie, which is amazing back in the day. When people did
Daredevil
that
had
stuff.
the best soundtrack. Terrible movie.
Yeah, there's so many of those movies in the 90s.
Space Jam.
Arguably, like, people like The Crow. I think The Crow is garbage. Anyway, as a whole, I mean, look, especially
Spider-Man.
these days, if you translate to now, whew, it's a rough movie. But
I mean, it's okay to be wrong.
It's a great cult movie.
I happen to love that movie. Thank you.
Well, listen, it's one of those nostalgic things for me. Like, I'll watch it as a nostalgic because I grew up loving that movie. But if I watch it now as an adult,
see, me and Justin had no nostalgia for it. I don't think we watched it recently, and I thought,
oh, that's cool. See, then that's why it worked well for you. It's like that'd be like if you listen to an album that I knew had spent my entire life listening to, grew up with, and I just got tired of it, burnt out of it.
So was it one of those things where you're constantly just like you were exposed to it so much you got sick of it?
Yeah. Think like Nirvana's Nevermind, or anything like that, or a Beatles album, or anything like that, where you've heard it so much that it's just like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, I just can't. I can't get away from that for too many years. So, but then you get like let's say a younger kid hears a Nirvana album now, and it blows their mind in their experiencing what you did when you were a kid. You know, I mean, you can't drink that Kool-Aid anymore, man. That you're got your fill of that forever. But them, that's like it's like tasting it for the first time. You know, it's just mind-boggling. I think those movies were like that too, especially because I could only imagine what a kid now would see some of those movies and like, holy crap, this is incredible. I mean, yeah, visually it may not be the best. It is the 90s, but for what it was, you know, if you get the right kid. I mean, my daughter watched the other day. She watched City of Angels. I mean, you know, it's much.
Doll song.
No. The Crow. The Crow. No, The Crow, City of Angels. That was one of those movies, one of the many in the 90s, where the studio interjected a lot. Like, basically what they did to DC comic movies. Where the studio decided.
Yeah. I heard we got another surprise guest who wants to pop on to say, because you two are very popular tonight. And it's not Bree yelling at me for swearing this time.
Oh, that's surprising.
Ouch.
You for swearing?
That was good. And it's not Bree yelling at me for swearing this time.
Ew. Hey.
Dog, what the? You for swearing?
That was good. And it's not Bree yelling at me for swearing this time.
Ew. I'm surprised Bree's not yelling at me yet. Hey.
Dog, what the? You for swearing?
That was good. And it's not Bree yelling at me.
Echo.
Bree's not yelling at me yet.
Who's echoing?
Dog, what the? You for swearing?
That was good. And it's not Bree yelling.
No, guys, I was saying the 90s, back in the 90s, was like the DC movies now, where they've muscled in and changed, the studios forced to change so many things and edited without the director's approval, that the original script for City of Angels, the Crow movie, was entirely different. They cut so much out of that bloody movie, the studio, without their say so. It was a totally different film. That's one of those movies, like, I watch now visually. I'm like, oh, it's really cool visually. The story's garbage, but visually this is really cool. Yeah, and the soundtrack is killer.
The director wanted to make like his own original movie, but then I think it was the Weinsteins came in, just wanted another Crow.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why we got City of Angels, Dark City from the original Crow director, because he went out behind the studio, another studio, and he decided to do it without the studio who made the Crow knowing.
Oh, is
they
that
would
how
have probably taken it. What's that?
Is that how they made Dark City?
Are we still talking about?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what I've heard. That they kind of took this. He took the script because he was supposed to be, like, the deal was he got this movie, but you had to make the Crow, but they were going to approve it, but you had to submit so many scripts to them so they can make possibly other films, and he hid that one under his butt a little bit until they weren't aware, and then he gave it to another studio to try to approve, and then he got the directing once his time was up with the studio.
Steven, did you hear us talking about you earlier? We were singing your praises.
Yeah, I mean, I was hearing that, yeah, and No, I mean, I don't. I gotta say, I don't think I ever talked about this on here about any of this, but me and Cam here used to do a podcast. We used to do a podcast back in the day.
No way.
So long ago.
I used to be on a podcast back in the day.
It was no, we did a podcast called Adventure Time, guys. There's a podcast, nothing about everything but Adventure Time. We reviewed all the episodes. We almost did all the comics. We never got.
You certainly got a lot of it to do, so that works.
We did that. We did everything Adventure Time, but then what happened was that I started a radio station called C Jams, which went away years ago because I couldn't afford to pay it anymore, and so that shut down. And Cyber Time Bite was supposed to be a show on that station, and so what happened was that Cyber Time Bite became its own entity off that radio station. And then what happened was that Cameron became friends with my brother's friend Justin over there, who reminds me a lot of Jared.
Except I'm single and sad.
Oh no, Justin!
Justin's got the jokes tonight.
Sorry, you can still be married and sad. It's okay.
Chris, Justin always has the jokes. All right.
That's
like
the
the
downside
sass.
of Cinema
Single
Roulette.
sad, married sad, children with sad. It's all the same ballpark, man. It's subgenres of music.
But I mean, but obviously my podcast is different from theirs because mine is like the whole interview thing, and then theirs is more like we have wheels. It's like the SpongeBob. Yeah. It's like the SpongeBob episode. We're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. We're talking about this.
So these two, so I definitely want to make sure we bring up your show some more. So these two they've hit the over 100 episode club.
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
I recorded into my 4th year. I'm already ready to go into my 4th year already. That's crazy.
Oh, excellent. Oh,
That's the
Steven,
first time I've been on a podcast in a long time. Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for popping on for us, giving us a wee bit of a surprise. This is super. I think we should keep this up. We should have people pop in more. This is really fun. We did this with you guys. We were on our first episode. I was like, you know what, this is kind of perfect, and hopefully I won't.
We're always introducing new things here. We were the first on the show, and now we introduce popping in guests.
Yes.
Yeah, and the first time my computer crashed seconds before, but thankfully I was able to fix it.
And I know that I'm not. Hopefully, I'm not spilling anything personal right now. But I know that me and Serpent are supposed to come back on. I think next month on the 11th. I think.
How's she doing, by the way?
Who, Serpent?
Oh yeah. I took
yeah,
the calendar.
Yeah, she's doing great. I mean, we just did a podcast a few weeks ago, and we did we recorded the latest episode of the podcast. I just did a Cyber Time Bite episode today, and everything's going well between us and everything's going good with both the podcasts. And when we come back on, I can't wait for that to happen. That'd be fun. I was actually in the Let's Chat on Twitter, and I know that someone put out oh, can't do it today, we need a host. So I was like, and then you said, and then Rebel, you said I'll do it, and then I came 5 minutes later, I said I'll do it, and then
I didn't see that. I have, like we were talking before, I barely use my personal Let's Chat. I mean, my personal Twitter, and that's what my thread is on. And I probably answered it and never looked at it again. I'm so sorry. I would have kept you on.
No, it's fine. It's Let's Chat with Chris Rebel after all, right?
Well, this is Let's Chat Live. That
Sure.
Which is really more. But we got our little umbrella. Awesome.
But check.
I want to make sure. What's that?
I want to show you something that I got today, which is really
Let's
cool.
do it.
I finally got a wireless Xbox 360 Les Paul Guitar Hero controller, and it has Slash on it.
Nice.
And
turn it up.
Awesome.
Steven,
Steven, you're going to be coming back pretty soon. Seaball will definitely be seeing you soon as well. Thank you guys for popping on. This is super fun.
Hey, no problem.
All right, man.
I give these guys their time. Peace. Oh my God, guys, that was super cool. We should definitely do that more. But I want to make sure, obviously, we give enough focus to Cinema Roulette because you were so kind to us to take a chance on our little this project that we did that kind of continued on. I know we're a half hour into it, but why not start now? Do you want to give folks like a little overview of what your show is?
I'm trying to think of how to start. Do you want to do it camera or shy?
I mean, should we just play the audio commercial that we have?
No, because we don't have it set.
What
This
do you
is
mean
live?
I know it's live, but I can pull it up here and then you can
No,
play it.
that takes too long. There was easier ways to
It takes
explain
like
it.
30 fucking seconds.
Nope, too long.
Okay.
So we are a movie and
We
TV
spent more time
podcast.
arguing about it than it would have been.
I know.
to play.
Exactly.
Which actually I think is a better commercial because that gives the dynamic of your personalities.
That's the odd part is we argue a lot more when we're not talking about movies. Other times it's like, oh yeah, that does make sense, and then just going back and forth. But for an easier ad, we have a podcast called Cinema Roulette. We are a movie and TV podcast, which then you may ask why it's called Cinema Roulette. It's because it sounds better than trying to add TV somewhere in there. We have a roulette wheel of TV shows and movies. We spin it at the end of every episode to decide what happens next. Except with TV, that one gets more complicated and takes way too long to explain.
So what's next?
What's tomorrow's episode is the end of Star vs. Force of Evil season 3, which we've been going through.
Well, I'm sorry, I missed you. What you said? What?
Did you say what's next?
I heard that, and then it cut. I didn't hear what you said after that. I'm sorry. Star Wars something?
Star vs. the Force of Evil. It's a cartoon from Disney that is surprisingly dark.
Nice. Was that D+?
Yep.
That's where we're watching it because Disney hates releasing DVDs.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. It's really
we don't
dumb.
work for
I
Disney,
want
I
to
don't know
give
why.
them money, but they say no.
It's like I would buy Star vs. the Forces of Evil and I would buy The Mandalorian, but they've never released a physical copy. So
Yeah, and Netflix will sometimes release a physical copy of their originals.
they do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know a couple of their anime series are coming out, like Cannon Buster, I think just got a Blu-ray release.
Castlevania.
Castlevania.
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah. So, what else have you guys been? What have you been like? What in the last like 6 months? What episodes have stood out to you?
Well, we had the 100th, which we covered the entirety of the anime Paranoia Agent, which was a lot. We had our because we have background art, or our thumbnails are made by an artist named Teller's Place, and they actually made a custom background for us where I'm dressed as the main antagonist and camera is messing with something from the show called Moromi.
Yeah, I think I was
dog
I think I was supposed to be the artist girl or whatever she kind of drew me as. So,
which is just fun. We had that episode. We had a really bad run of episodes after the 100th. Like, not that they're bad, but that the things we covered were just awful.
it was. It's just how it goes with the random chance of the wheel. So
we had Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which we heard was bad, but we tried to give it a chance. After the first 20 minutes, that movie becomes insanely boring. And another one was we covered the short series known as The Cape.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, I know, only because I'm a super fan of Community, and they just razz that show all the time. That 6 seasons in a movie.
There's a reason it was 1 season and no movie.
Yeah, like I think I watched that show only because of Community making fun of it so much. It was bad. It was really bad.
We watched it and we remembered liking it, so we're like, okay, yeah, let's put that on the wheel. We land on it, and the DVD is like $5 or something.
It's like $5 new on Amazon or something like that. That's how little this show is loved. And
was that still too much money for it?
That was still too much money for it. There's one good 2-parter in it. The rest of the show is not worth your time.
Yeah, there are 2 out of like the 10 episodes worth watching. That's it.
I'm trying to think
that's
of.
so funny.
We finished our second wheel with In a World, which is a. Have you seen the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max?
No.
That show is great. First off, once it's finished, I will probably shove it on the wheel just because.
Because I love. I got to interview Rahul Kohli pre Harley Quinn. I know he's on that. I'm a
Awesome.
huge iZombie fan. Like, talk about like getting someone on your show before they become super famous. Like, he was season 3 of iZombie. That to me, he was a superstar at that point because I'm a fanatic of that show, and that dude's star has just kept rising. He's so handsome.
The only reason I brought up is because the voice of Poison Ivy is Lake Bell in that show, and
I love her.
Lake Bell's awesome.
She directed a film called In a World, which is a comedy
about
with
Tig Notaro.
Huh?
Yeah, Tig Notaro.
Yeah.
No, it's Tig's wife is in it, I think.
But yeah, we watched that to finish off our second wheel, and that movie.
I love that movie.
Funny. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of the comedian Tig Notaro. I don't remember if she's in it, but I think that's where she met her wife.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Because I love Lake Bell. She's like one of those people who can do anything.
She just has such an honest delivery.
It's very down to earth, like just how she talks. It's great.
Did you ever see What Hot American Summer, the Netflix show that they did?
Not.
She's in that, and she's hilarious. Like,
honestly, that sells me on the show just knowing Lake Bell's in it.
Same.
Yeah. Like, she's so funny, and what an interesting name. I think her dad. I remember listening to her on WTF with Mark Maron. I think her father or her mother had some ties to like something big in like race car driving and NASCAR. Really? Like, she had an interesting upbringing. It doesn't hurt that she's like, gorgeous as well, but she's also just like a really good actor.
It's good.
I do want to see Harley Quinn. I maybe I will. I do have a
highly recommended.
I'm not sure if anyone else out there I feel like an old man, but like the HBO layout, the HBO Max, the interface is so terrible. It like I can't find anything. And they have everything. It's like Amazon Prime. Like, it takes me an hour to find the one thing I want, and then I end up watching a rerun that I've already seen 75 times.
I would debate Prime is worse. I have no idea what movies are available on Prime.
I know, and they have like their algorithm never gets good to pick up the stuff I like. Like, I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, F you, Amazon Prime.
The thing about Prime that sucks is it's completely inconsistent how long something is, free with Prime. It could be there for a few months. It could be there for like a day or two.
Yeah.
No.
The answer is once we have to do an episode on it is no longer free.
Every time.
Pretty much. Yeah. I watch, or like there's stuff I wanted. There's like a documentary about, the golden age of Nickelodeon that was on Amazon Prime. And I was just about to watch it. And then it popped up on Hulu. It's like,
nice.
That tends to happen. Like, I want to watch something on Amazon. I'm like, this is probably going to be on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu in like a week, so I'll just wait.
Nice. Sometimes if you have a VPN, like Hulu exclusives will go on Netflix, and I think it's like in the UK sometimes or in Canada. Don't know why, but hey.
Oh, it's all like a weird licensing agreement.
Yeah, I don't even want to know the hell that is streaming legalese.
That would be a headache.
Yeah. My friend from college, he works in the industry, but his aunt is like an entertainment lawyer who does all the like the music licensing and like just all those really boring, nitty gritty. Like, I remember him telling me like, she's like, yeah, it's ruined film for my aunt because like. You and I can just watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit and be like, what a great movie. And she's like, has to go and like, do you know how many meetings and lawyers it took to make this happen? And like, just kind of like the boring stuff. Like, isn't that true for podcasting too? Like, to me, this is the fun part. Like, the reward is the interview, but there's a lot of boring stuff I hate doing.
I don't know, because I have not felt that way. Have you felt that way, Justin?
Well, we've just been doing it with ourselves. We don't have to get a guest every week.
I guess you know what? That's true. You don't have to worry about that. We're kind of cutting out the middleman in that case, which is it's just us.
What about editing? I don't like to edit.
I love editing. I love editing, and I think so does Justin. So
you can make a lot of money doing it too.
Yeah.
Like I think like standard editors charge like $55 an hour.
Damn, son.
I'm sorry. Hey, who needs an editor?
Oh. Hey, who wants some editing? Come my way.
Hey, hit me up afterwards because I legitimately always need an editor. I mean, the more revenue stream we're getting with Let's Chat Media, I'm like, Get me out of doing post-production, please.
Well, I was gonna say, me and Justin both edit, so
yeah, I do all the
Also,
edit, I
that
do our
sounds like
editing.
better
But
pay than
recently I've
retail.
been starting to hire out a little bit to free up time to do other things because I don't know. I'm good at it. I just it just takes so much time. It just takes so much time. Maybe it's easier if you edit somebody else's voice rather than your own.
it depends. So, because the thing about like Justin was saying, like the movie ones are fine, but certain TV episodes and like some topic wheels, they can be a pain in the ass to edit just because they're so long and there's so much involved in that. So,
a topic wheel is a top 10 list from us.
yes.
No, wait, sorry, that's fill in slots. Topic wheel is a third wheel we have where it's just like talking about something in the industry, like streaming services, where horror movies are now, that type of thing.
Would now how do you just split up your responsibilities of who does what?
We just split it as best we can between us.
At the moment, it depends on how broken Cameron's computer is.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because he's been doing the editing a lot recently because Premiere has been having so many issues on this computer right here that I'm on right now. I think this computer is slowly dying, which is why I'm talking to my one brother who's really good with computers. He can like build them and shit, so I'm paying him to help build me a really, really, really good desktop computer. And right now, Premiere is having this lovely issue because if you have stuff in Premiere, it has to quote unquote what's the term for it? Not render, conform it, which means it has to go through the files and make sure you can preview it and all that and make all that. And that's already been done. I opened the program and it has to conform everything all over again and took up all of my hard drive space. So there's a fun little glitch I'm having to deal with right now. So I was like, hey, Justin, can you edit the next episode for me?
Aww.
And the reason we're in Premiere is because we also have a YouTube version, so it's just easier to keep it in there.
Yeah. We don't edit with Audacity or any of that. We edit in Premiere, which is actually pretty decent for audio editing as well. It's just easier because you have the video version, then you can just new timeline, copy paste, delete video.
Is it free?
No, heavens no, it's not free.
Depends on how you get it.
I might need to get. I think I need to get something like that though, because I've been doing Audacity, but now we're starting to working into the video world and.
Because Audacity is good for audio editing. It's just the interface is not really all that user friendly. So
I've heard it described as audio editing from the 90s.
Yeah.
It's hey Justin, you got a happy birthday from Beth. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
That's his
Who's that? Mortal enemy?
No, my Aunt Beth.
Just well, I'm sorry for calling you
my mortal enemy.
Like, there's no other options. Either your sworn enemy or your aunt. Well, you have a very supportive family. I think that's so sweet. I love that.
Those are the only options for
no other options.
You're either anyone named Beth, aunt, or mortal enemy.
I got for our Let's Chat with Chris Revel. I interviewed Taylor Morden, who made the documentary The Last Blockbuster, which I loved. And my uncle owned a bunch of videos, like a chain of video stores in the Boston area for years and years and years, and obviously they don't exist anymore. So I was like, Uncle Greg, I really think you should, maybe this might be the first time you should check an episode out. No. Well, you should at least watch the documentary. It's really cool. It's more than Blockbuster. It's all about like the culture that you helped kind of preserve, and that it's all about
just straight no.
Yeah. Well, more about yeah, sure. I mean, I love my uncle. He's a great guy. He's also technologically impaired, so it's not his fault.
And then he chose this episode, and he just came in.
Oh, it should be the first one. I'll put it this way: he owned video stores, but this is when I was growing up. But he hated movies. Like really? I think because he owned the video store, it ended up making him hate film. So for Christmas every year, we would always get presents of all especially back then, movie merchandise for like the video store owners was like a big thing. So he'd give us stuff, but he had no idea of what was good and what was bad. So like one year we got an advanced copy of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Damn.
Yeah. And the years I got a Carrot Top alarm clock, ahead of the class Carrot Top alarm clock. Because to him, those were the same thing because he just didn't know anything. I wish I still had that, to be honest.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was awful. It was just Carrot Top's head. It was this big. I had like a Ronin t-shirt. I had a swimming pool t-shirt. I remember we had an advanced copy of the movie Blank Check.
Oh, lovely.
Oh God.
Like, every so often we get something great, but it was almost just because like it was like that scene in Arrested Development. Here, go see a Star Wars. Oh, rest in
Go
peace,
see one of
Jessica
them
Walters.
moving pictures.
Yeah, Jessica Walter was fucking awesome. Rest in peace.
Oh God, and she was the voice in Dinosaurs.
Was she?
She was the neighbor, the Brontosaurus. And I loved her in Archer, especially.
Yeah,
Like,
we're talking about Miss Archer, Jessica Walter.
Oh, okay. Actually, the worst part about that is we were covering Star Reverse Force Evil season 3. She plays a villain in that, and we were about to record an episode and just found out she
died the day that we were going. We recorded. It sucked, and we were like, we just saw her in Star. We just heard her voice. It was like, no, because she was so funny. Oh my God.
you know, I mean, unfortunately she passed, but it seemed like she lived a really wonderful, long, great life. But like, when people pass, you get to learn about. I didn't know who she was until Arrested Development, to be quite honest. And then like getting to hear that she was this like old, like she's had a long career, and like Arrested Development was almost like kind of this like resurgence of a career for her, which was like, and everyone too, and of course, like what a thing to be remembered for. Like I don't think I can't even talk about her without her. I think everyone had the same meme that day. It's like, here, go see a Star Wars. It is the greatest line ever made in the history of television. It's just, oh my, here, go see a Star Wars. Or like, God, I love Arrested Development so much.
I actually have not seen Arrested Development, so
just do the first 3 seasons and stop.
Oh, really? After that's not good?
Yeah, because it was like multiple years later, Netflix remade season 4, but they couldn't get all the actors together, so there's a lot of bad green screen, and like, I think 5. I didn't watch 5. I actually like season 4, but like, there's like a 10-year gap in between the show. The first 3 are just like
first 3 seasons are worth it, basically.
Just it's perfect. I like all of it, but it is literally it is comedy gold to the point where like I fall out of my chair laughing. You watch Archer?
Yes. I fucking love Archer.
So funny on Archer.
So fucking good.
Because that's where I think we first heard her was in Archer. So
yeah, her voice, and my mom had breast cancer, and there was that episode of Archer when Archer had breast cancer, and like my wife and I, that was like the show we'd watch to help us like get through like the tough times. But like when we would talk about my mom's like chemo and stuff, we'd just be like, Rampage! And it became like a joke in my whole family because like no one has ever done cancer so funny.
Lana, I have cancer.
I love her. Aisha Tyler is actually one of the main reasons I started podcast. I was obsessed with her podcast, Girl on Guy, and then it ended before podcast, and she's had a wonderful career as well. But she had one of my favorite podcasts that never. I think she kind of. I bet if she hung out longer, it would have gotten there because she was in the early days like Nerdist and all those cats. But I think she kind of dipped out a little earlier to go have a movie career and work on Archer. So maybe she did the right thing.
Well, and she was in voice acting too. She did a lot of voice acting.
Yeah,
and she was in Star and stuff like that too. I'm sure she did a lot of things.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, like she literally made her podcast the way you and I do. Like she would like have these people like Chris Rock and whatever, and she was like recording, editing, posting. Like she was like an indie podcaster, but a celebrity.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I haven't thought of her in a while. Oh my God, that's a dream guest right there. I have some guests that I'm too afraid to ask on because what if they say yes? I'm like,
that's fair.
It's like, you need to. There's some celebrities I think that should remain a mythical creature to me, and that like that whole saying, "Never meet your heroes."
Yeah.
Which I disagree with strongly.
Same.
I've had nothing but mostly positive experiences, and when the experience isn't great, it's also like people have a bad day. I wouldn't want someone to meet me once and base off everything off of that because sometimes I'm really nice, but I'm not always nice.
I think
good day.
Yeah, I think it goes for anybody really. So.
Yeah.
I know there's we do want to have guest interviews at some point. We just been bad planning. And there's one, because, I think we talked to Bree about this, how you kind of have to network to get up to certain guests. We do really want to talk to the voice actress for Revy from the anime Black Lagoon. That is one that we want to, but
Marique Hendricks, I think is her name, or something. Marique Hendricks.
Yeah.
She's only on, but she's very hard to find because she doesn't have an email, or I would have already emailed her. She's only like on Twitter or something like that.
Oh, Twitter's good.
And I added her one time. I was like, "Yo, can we like chats or something?" And never responded to me, which understandable. Like, so, because she's a voice. We love her in Black Lagoon. She has like the coolest fucking voice, but she's actually done a shit ton of work for like My Little Pony and stuff like that. So I'm sure she gets bombarded by those fans every single day. So, because you know how rabid that fan base is.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. That's one of the fun things we've been doing. I'm definitely gonna hit you guys up off mic as well too, for like our Let's Chat Club. That's been a really fun thing for all of us to kind of like collaborate and figure out how you do things. Because like I'm really good at guest booking, but I'm not good at a lot of other things, and that's kind of where we all kind of can come together. But like guest book, it's to me that I don't know why. I love it more than anything.
You were further away from your mic. We couldn't hear that last part.
Oh, sorry. It's like a puzzle for me. Guest booking. It's my favorite thing of doing a podcast. It's the highs and lows, but yeah. The second you said it, I was like, all right, I'm sure we can figure out a way to get a message. I have this weird confidence. I'm like, if I can get a message to them, I think they'll say yes. I mean, usually I'm wrong, but sometimes they say yes. Like I said, like exactly what you said though. You're right. You got to kind of work your way up. Like what I like to do that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Be like, all right, what's like 6 degrees away from her, and then get 6 get. But in my head, the way I always think is like, if I can get a message to the person and they can see a name they recognize, they'll probably read it. And then I've had some pretty good luck in the last years. And then sometimes stuff falls in your lap. You're like, okay.
Yeah. You might just have to take advantage of that opportunity in that case. So.
Yeah. I can send you to, if anyone's watching, hit me up. My good friend David from the Unwritable Rant, he's like one of my podcast mentors. He and his wife Juliet, like they had like earlier on, they were having like actual celebrities, like real like usually of a certain type, like Eric Roberts, and like that's probably the worst. They've had more famous people like Bert Kreischer. They were having celebrities, and everyone's like, David, how do you do it? And podcasting community being the most wonderful human beings on earth, he just made a YouTube video and he's like, here's exactly how you write to PR people. Here's your format. Here's when to ask. And that I'll send you the video. It taught me everything I know. Like I learned a lot myself, but that's why I love the community. It's just everyone's so nice and everyone shares their resources. And even as like the industry's grown, like Spotify and all these bigger companies and like Silicon Valley money coming in, you still have this great community with the indie stuff, in the indie world, which is wonderful.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's just one of those awesome communities where people just build each other up and like help each other out. Like even the smaller ones, it's like people can ask, hey, I'm a smaller podcast starting out. What can I do? And people help out. So it's like, already done several cross promotions, you guys being one of them, Shonen Flop being another one of them. So
yeah. And like, I mean, Bree and I have never met in person, and she's my business partner. Now we have like 3 podcasts together. Our friend Dwight, I've never met him in real life, but now me and Bree have a checking account together. I know. We run a media company. We met on Twitter talking about pizza like 6 years ago, and then at some point she was a fan, and then at some point she was a guest, and then we just became really close friends over the years. To like, it's fun. So there's a point when she just got a cat, and my wife walked downstairs, and Bree and I were FaceTiming so our cats could meet. And my wife's like, "Oh my god!" Like Bree and like her Robert hosts this, and like I call him a friend, and Victoria and Bree, my wife, are friends. Like it's great. And do you two live near each other?
8 hours.
It's an 8-hour. He lives in Illinois. I'm in Ohio. So.
Oh, that's really far. Oh, so so the podcast, like for a lot of reasons, which you see with a lot of people.
We do it in
it's a reason to stay in touch.
So yeah, we do it in person whenever we can. Like either he'll come over to my house or I'll come over to his house and we'll record a bunch of stuff. So,
which we're doing that in June, I think, this year.
Yes, June this year, because we usually schedule it in July because we go to Midwest every year. At least we try, or we do pandemic. So I kind of schedule it like a week around that weekend. But this year, since we're not going to con anyway, I'm just like, I'll just come over like a month earlier or so. So
I love that.
Usually
Before we
yeah.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say we meet up around about twice a year. That's all. So
yeah,
I love
I was gonna say in June we're gonna record for what we call now Movie Month, which was the worst idea of last year, where we did like 2 episodes a week because we were like, oh, we have a surplus of episodes because we're able to record ahead of time, so let's release 2 a week, and then we spent the rest of the year playing catch up. But this time we're planning ahead to do Movie Month,
yes,
which will happen in November.
Yeah, so stay tuned for Movie Month in November from us. So
excellent. Sorry. Before we kind of start wrapping it up because we're hitting the hour, I wanted we have a friend sitting in our studio. I just want to bring back on before we close out.
I'm back.
Hi, back. I'm Dad.
Yeah, Steven, do you have any episodes you would suggest that someone listen to for Cinema Roulette?
What, of all their episodes? I mean, I listened to.
Now's the time. Have you actually listened to us?
Yes,
so you find out that all your friends don't actually listen to your podcast.
I listen to you guys. I listen to you guys every single week, almost.
What's a good starting point? I was going to ask you guys, but I don't trust you because it's your show.
That's fair.
Rude. First off,
no. Do you know what? Do you know what? To be fair, I say an episode of their show, and they gotta say an episode of my show. To be fair,
I've already sat through.
Excuse me. This is our episode. We.
Yeah. But Rebel was saying like, hey, they recommended an episode of Cinema Roulette, but how about they do the same back?
Anything I want is
fine. You know what? If that's your prerequisite, go watch the Cyber Time Bite he did with Justin Wang. I love Justin Wang. I promote him. So
the gauntlet has been dropped.
Fine. So, Steven, your turn.
All right. Let's see. You guys did a lot of stuff recently that has been pretty cool. The Star versus the Forces of Evil stuff is really, really good. I'm not gonna lie, that's some good stuff. So go listen to that. No. Our The Quiet Place. That's a great episode too.
You can't say The Quiet Place. That's not an episode.
Okay, so Chris, do you know about our April Fool's episode? Because I'll let Justin explain it. If not,
I thought of just the simple joke for April Fool's to upload a Quiet Place episode, which plays our intro, plays our usual stuff, and then it's just dead silence for 45 minutes.
And then there's like one technical difficulty break somewhere thrown in there, and that's it, just silence.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Actually,
you're brilliant. You know that? You are brilliant.
I know we're about to hit the hour mark, but I do want to say just a few things that have changed on the show since we've last been on here. One, I have the same mic as Cameron now, so because before I was on a Snowball, now it's on a slightly nicer mic. We have intro music. We have intro music by Cameron's JJ, his musician friend, who is always addressed as JJ, his musician friend.
Because me and Justin are a big fan of Welcome to Night Vale, and there's a character on there called John Peters, the father, and he's introduced like that every time. So I would always say because JJ Vickers was one of my friends, and I always say JJ, my musician friend, just to specify who I'm talking to. And from now on, we've always just addressed him as JJ, my musician friend.
Yep.
I also wanted to bring up, are you guys gonna? I mean, I guess I have a question. The inner Cyber Time Bite's coming out of me, but
okay.
But are you guys gonna? I mean, you guys do anime, right? Like you guys do anime.
Yeah, we've covered a few.
Are you guys gonna do that Kill la Kill?
Should we?
We'll do Kill la Kill because we're still finishing up our short series wheel, so it'll probably be on the next one.
Yeah.
Kill la Kill would be a fun one.
Don't lose your way.
Don't act like you've watched it. You haven't.
Because I have that on my Netflix.
How about you suck a dick, Justin?
No.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
No, because I asked because I have the anime on my Netflix wait list waiting to get watched, so I'm in.
Or you could buy the $150 Blu-ray case,
which I also have. Fuck you.
Why are you swearing at me for showing the case?
I'm swearing at you because you didn't have to fucking mention I didn't have to see the show yet. Okay.
I'll say what I want.
Fuck you.
I've been.
Are we gonna have to come back and do like a podcast couples therapy?
No, I'm going.
Yes.
No, we don't. I'm going to go and I'm going to edit that out of the video. I'm going to sack your login and edit that out of this broadcast.
I will give you the password if I didn't have to reset it every time I try to log in.
Yes.
That's annoyed Bree.
I will take over this podcast.
Everyone else does.
Well,
we'll have to have you guys come back on to like come part of our circle of our co-hosts that we rotate around with.
I'd be fine with that.
As long as there's more fisticuffs.
As long as we randomly choose to yell at each other.
We don't want to fight. We're best friends. Why would we do that?
We're best friends, but we yell about each other. Well, best friends usually yell about the stuff that's least important.
Yeah. Well, like I just did.
You slept with my wife. Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, well,
you ate the last cheese puff, you mother.
You know, what'd be interesting is that as we had like the that these guys are Cinema Roulette. They do general movies, but it'd be funny to see Defying Disney and these guys because they both review movies.
That would be fun. We got some cool movie podcast folk in our club, which they're like you two, where like they're all friends and they know a lot more about movies than me. I did their Lady and the Tramp episode, and I was like, I have to really watch this movie like next time to know my stuff. So so let's did I do this part? I gotta throw in boom, baby. Boom. That's the wrong button. There we go. So anyway, thank you all for doing this. This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm glad it's cool for you to be like a half year, like I don't know. This whole thing could have fallen apart after one episode. And the fact that you were kind enough to come on and be our first guest, and it's been really great. Bree wishes she could be here, but she's in the process of moving, so she wasn't able to make it tonight.
Sounds like an
but where can people find you online? We'll start with Cam because you're on my right.
Me specifically. Well, this is good because I recently changed my Twitter handle from the last time that we checked because it was just over long and just didn't roll off the tongue real well. Used to be Cameron Pixink, but now personally, you can follow me on Twitter. It's at CamCamMackers. Capital C, capital M, Cam. Oh no, two C's, one M, whatever. And I'm trying to think. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is mostly what the video versions of Cinema Roulette are on. Just search Cam Gaming or Cinema Roulette on YouTube. You'll find me. And if you want to follow Cinema Roulette, we also have at Roulette Cinema, like the little marquee is saying down below. And I think, is that really our only social media besides our actual listening sites? Because if you want to listen to us too, you can go to our link tree. We're on basically every podcasting site you can think of: Apple Podcast, Amazon, all that fun stuff. So
I'm at JK Pancake, and I'm usually the one on the Twitter at Roulette Cinema. I don't know why it auto flipped it when I made the account, but it did. So it's now.
It didn't. What happened was Cinema Roulette was already taken, so you just did Roulette Cinema.
That's lame.
I know.
You have the best. I love the art you all have for your show too.
Yeah, Teller's Place. Go check them out on Tumblr. Yeah,
Teller's Place on Tumblr. They made the original base background, and I edit it for every episode now to make it look more poppy. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to send me their link because I love their art. And Steven, where can people find you online?
Oh, well, funny enough, I actually changed my username as well, just as of yesterday. So you can find me on Facebook at CyberTimeBite. That's literally where you can find me because I'm not giving my personal Facebook out, obviously. So you can find me. You can find me at
CyberTimeBite. We'll send it to everyone after he hacks into me.
I will give you a personal favorite Facebook later.
I will Facebook you everywhere.
You can find me on Twitter at now the Retro Vampire because I changed it from Nostalgia Vamp to the Retro Vampire because I wanted "the" in there because I thought it'd be cool. And then I'm the same thing on Twitter. I said Twitter, didn't I? Yeah, I'm the same on Twitter. I'm the same on Instagram, and I'm Crash Steven Gear on Redbubble, where all my sports stuff is for my podcast. So people
wonderful. The easiest place to find anything under the Let's Chat Media umbrella would just be letschatpodcast.net. The most recent episode of Let's Chat with Chris Rumpel, we had comedian Chris Gethard, which was a doozy, and we were recently featured in Vulture, which we're really happy about.
Nice.
And I just wanted to throw out there. I got nothing. Thank you guys so much for doing this, and I'm sure we're going to be in contact soon. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for listening, anyone out there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait, are we supposed to leave our
He
show?
left us, and we're still live.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I highly suggest listening to our Halloween episode on Scary Godmother involves our friend Weepy Gamers. Okay, I don't know when this will end.
Neither.
I left the studio when I went to end broadcast.
I got Barks root beer. Who even knows? Who cares?